Another week of college wrestling's in the books, and it was filled with upsets, and that means we have huge rankings changes at every single weight. And so every week we like to come on here and talk about the biggest changes in the rankings, give you an opportunity to ask some questions, and maybe tell us where we're wrong, and we're not too proud to admit it. So hop in the comments if you have any questions or if you think we missed anything. I want to start with the biggest news of college wrestling from last week, and that's the return of Gable Steveson at heavyweight for the Minnesota Gophers. Gable comes in number one ranked pound-for-pound wrestler in the country over Carter Starocci. And really, this is a conversation. Starocci has won 4 NCAA titles in a row, really hasn't lost since his freshman year. But Gable Steveson, he's won 2 NCAA titles in a row, 2 Hodge trophies, and he hasn't lost since his freshman year. And so really, you got to get down into the nitty-gritty, get down into the things that separate Steveson and Starocci. And really, there's 2 main reasons why we gave Gable the nod over Starocci. And number one, it's for the bonus percentage that Gable has. He has a far higher bonus percentage in his career. I think he's about in the 70% range, whereas Starocci's only down in like the 50% range. And so definitely clear bonus for Steveson there. And then also the losses that Starocci has, I know they come all the way back to his freshman year, but that's what we're doing. We're splitting the hairs here. Starocci lost to Michael Kemmerer and DJ Washington. You compare that to Steveson, he only lost to Anthony Cassar. So Cassar is an NCAA champion, clearly much better loss for Steveson there. So we give the edge in overall resume to Steveson, but there's certainly a conversation to be had. You know, Starocci's been in the streets, he's been wrestling more, and so give us your feedback there if you think Starocci should be ranked over Steveson. And then also moving on to heavyweight, we put Steveson up at number 1, even though he's missed 2 NCAA tournaments in a row. And so you might be saying, hey, what about AJ Ferrari? AJ Ferrari's missed, some time, and you put him down at number 4. Why does Steveson get different treatment? And the answer is because Gable Steveson is a different guy than AJ Ferrari. You compare those two, you compare their resumes, and it is really not even close. Ferrari's missed 3 NCAA tournaments. Gable's only missed 2. But then you break down, you look at their top 10 wins, and Gable has wins over Greg Kirkfleet, number 2, Wyatt Hendrickson, number 3, Colton Schultz, Ty Gadali, Luke Luffman, and AJ Ferrari, he's only beaten 2 top 10 wrestlers, only has wins over Buchanan and Joey Novak. And so even if you get down into, the wins, it's clearly favor Gable Steveson. And then also the losses. Gable has only lost to Anthony Cassar. We already said that. AJ Ferrari lost to Noah Adams, someone who's never even All-American at the NCAA tournament. And so you can say they're similar, but they're not the same. Gable clearly gets the benefit of the doubt for missing time, and he's missed less time, and he has a much better resume. So that's the reason there. If you disagree with me, that's fine. Let me know in the comments. All right, I want to quickly kind of go through some of the other changes. Big notable results. At 133, Lucas Bird beats Nasir Bailey at the All-Star Classic. He jumps up to number 2 in the rankings. Big movement for Lucas Bird. On top of that win over Bailey, he has also beaten Dylan Regason like 3 times in his career. So definitely has the resume to move up to number 2 at 133. Going up to 141, Sam Latona. We kind of ride the roller coaster of Sam Latona pretty much every year. He beats a really good Josh Edmond. So Sam Latona moves up to number 16, but he does have the loss to Sean Carter this year, so it doesn't move all the way up. And then Josh Edmond drops a few spots down to number 13. He has wins last year over Tegan Jamison and Cal Happel, who are all top 10 guys. So Edmond doesn't drop all the way down in the rankings. 157, Ethan Looted Styles. Watch out for him. Ethan Styles has 2 really big wins this year. Beat Caleb Rachi opening weekend and now beats Teague Travis, who's ranked number 12. And so Styles jumps up to number 20. He does have a loss last year to number 27, Jason Krazer. And Travis has a win over Ed Scott. So Travis only drops to 15. Styles comes up to number 20. At 165, Terrell Bearclaw, he really is the truth. He beats Cam Amin, really close overtime match, but that's his second win over an All-American in just over 2 weeks. So he beat Hunter Garvin, and now he beats Amin. So Bearclaw comes up to number 5. And then Hunter Garvin, we had dropped him behind Amin and Bearclaw after the Bearclaw loss, but now Garvin comes back up with Bear Claw. Garvin had a really good end of the year last season, and the Bear Claw loss doesn't look as bad now as it did 2 weeks ago. So Garvin comes back up. At 184, the big upset here was Colton Hawks defeating returning All-American TJ Stewart. Hawks jumps up to number 8, and Stewart drops down to number 9. And it might feel like, we're punishing TJ Stewart a little bit too much, but last year, great NCAA tournament, but he did suffer some losses. He lost to Levi Hopkins, Gavin Kane, and TJ Stewart's best wins are against number 13, Reese Heller, and number 14, Dylan Fishback. And so TJ Stewart doesn't have that resume over top 10, top 5 wrestlers to keep him from dropping further in the rankings. So he's number 9 right now. At 197, the big upset was Luke Serber over Trey Munoz. Trey Munoz drops from number 5 to number 7. He's a 2-time All-American. He has a really robust resume that keeps him from dropping further. But if he takes any other losses to guys outside the top 10, we'll see him drop more. And Luke Serber jumps from number 20 to number 12. Really incredible start for Serber, but he does have some not great losses last year. Lost to Spencer Mooberry, Max Stout, and Zach Glazier that keep him from rising higher in the rankings. All right, that does it for this week. Be sure to hop in the comments if you have any questions, if you think we missed anything. Also, huge weekend of wrestling coming up. We got the Cyhawk Duel, Keystone Classic, Black Knight. Leave in the comments who you think is a wrestler to watch out for that's going to pull off some big upsets and move up in the rankings. If you get it right, we'll make you look smart here. We'll highlight your comment on our next episode. All right, guys, we'll catch you next week.